So in this video, I'm going to show you guys a few things about the shape tool. So the shape tool is located about almost near the bottom of your toolbar here on the left-hand side. If you click and hold, you can see there's a bunch of different shape options. You have rectangles, ellipses, polygons of different sorts. And if I just go with a rectangle tool, you can see I can draw out any sort of a rectangle and it will give it a fill with whatever color I currently have selected. This is kind of a new thing in Photoshop. It's just taken place in the last few years where it behaves a little bit more like Illustrator. It used to be that this was a pixel shape and I could just take a bucket tool and fill it and change the color. But as you can see, that won't work now, right? I get a little no sign when using the bucket tool. If I try and click, it will say I can't do that. I have to rasterize it. And rasterizing basically means it's going to turn it from a path, an Illustrator path or vector path, into a pixel form. So if I hit OK, it will do that for me. And now I could change the color to, let's say, blue and fill it with my bucket tool. So that's one way to do it. The other way is once you make that shape, it will automatically pull up this little properties window, and you could, much more like Illustrator, change your shape, your colors in here. There's a little color box here that will bring up your color picker, and you can pick out exactly what color it is you want to use. And there's a bunch of other options here for stroke and things you might be kind of familiar with if you used Illustrator before. But let's say I want to rasterize it another way. I would have to open up my layers. I can go to Window and open my Layers palette. And you can see there's the rectangle there in its own layer. And you can see it has that little shape tool icon on it, which shows that it's a path and not pixelized. So if I just right click on this layer, it brings up this lengthy menu. Kind of right there in the middle is the rasterized layer. And if I just click on that, it changes it into a pixel form. And I can fill that in. I can make a selection and cut or copy or move or do any number of things to it that I would not be able to do if it were just a what's it called, a path. So there you go. So that's rasterizing. But just to show you guys a couple other things that the shape tools can do. Of course, if I use this rectangle tool but hold the Shift button, Shift is usually the organizing button in Photoshop and Illustrator, and it will make that rectangle into a square. There we go. If I were to do that with the ellipse tool, right, the ellipse makes ovals. If I hold down Shift, it organizes that into a circle. And there's also the polygon tool, which will make, that's not usually the original thing that it does. I'll show you that in a second. So it normally makes polygons like so, and you could change the number of sides you want. So very easily you can get a perfect shape. If you hold the Shift button, it will draw it from the middle. All right, it's a little bit different there. And then there's this little icon, looks like a settings tool that you'd find on most phones. If you click on that, you get the option to change it to a star. So, get a 7-pointed star here. If I choose smooth corners, I'll get a rounded flower-like shape. And I can even choose to smooth the indents. And you can choose a percentage by which you want to smooth it by. There we go, you can get something like that. One other thing you guys should know, the shape tool, instead of clicking and dragging to make a shape, if you just click, you'll get this little palette that pops up, and you can type in the exact size you want for your shape. And it'll do this for stars or for rectangles or whatever it is you want. So let's make one that's a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. And hey, we can make one that is not perfectly um, perfectly symmetrical too by changing the proportions of it. So it gives you a lot of very specific options.